Cancer, Cancer rising, and of course all of you Cancerian moon people out there. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting February 24th, 2020. If you hear any kind of noises or anything like that, remember, we do have a person in this house moving out over the course of this week and next week, so I don't think the noise is going to stay, but of course, just please ignore any bumps and things like that you might hear. So, quick reminder for everybody though, if you ever wish to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website and schedule it. It's at integrativemysticism.com, or of course you may also follow the links below. So, what is going on when it comes to your astrology over the course of this coming week? Well, on Tuesday we actually have Mercury, which is currently retrograde, in a conjunction with the Sun. Both of them occupying Pisces, your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, as well as culture, your spiritual life, and your connections abroad. Now, Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun is all about revising or reforming something that is not working out. And in the 9th house, this could absolutely be an opportunity to change something, appeal something, or get something that might be on the record, or maybe something that is maybe it's been imposed upon you, either professionally or otherwise, possibly something that you've been forced to work with, work around, or maybe even sort of accept as a limitation that you no longer need to. Because Mercury retrograde in the 9th house is, yes, a bit of a disruption, sure, when it comes to things like travel and all of that, but when we have the Sun involved, we are disrupting things that need to be disrupted in order to be healed. Now, if there's any kind of paperwork going on, any kind of limitations imposed in a government situation or a legal situation, or possibly even for those of you who are in school or college or university, things along those lines that you wish to wiggle out of or that you need to be adjusted or amended, this is a wonderful time to start having those conversations. Remember, Mercury retrograde is about revision, editing, review, either a restart or a refurbish. And with those of you who are curious about the Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in a spiritual way, we are really getting back in touch with our spiritual roots when it comes to maybe something that we wish to incorporate into our present practice. Something is going to be revitalizing, possibly an old spiritual path or practice being incorporated into what we have now. Contacts from yesteryear as it relates to maybe friends or collaborators or members of an old spiritual practice, and you are now really syncing up in a brand new way. It's an opportunity to start shaking off a lot of boundaries and limitations all around. As we get to Friday, we've got Venus, planet of love, affection, attraction, and harmony, in your 10th house of career, forming a square to Pluto, which is currently in your 7th house of partnerships, your closest one-on-one relationships. That's your boyfriend, girlfriend, your BFF, your business partner, your husband, wife, your roommate, all the people you spend your closest one-on-one time with. Now, when we have Venus in the 10th house, there is some kind of gift being offered to you. There is some kind of token of affection, loyalty, or favor, possibly, yes, money or opportunities. But in a square to Pluto, this can also bring a conflict of interest, because it may almost seem like it's too much. It may seem like it's going over the top, or that it may come with, a pressure to do something, or maybe make an adjustment we don't know if we're comfortable doing right now, or if it's a good idea in the first place. Now, because Pluto is in your partnership sector, this gift or this opportunity, this breakthrough, could actually be at odds with another priority, another commitment that you have to somebody close. The good news is that because it's a square, we can work it out, we can talk it out, we can shift things to go in favor and work out any of those conflicts of interest or problematic areas that could be showing up at this point in time. But be careful about how we go about doing it. Venus square to Pluto can be very intense, and people might take things very personally for positive or negative. Things might go deeper with people for positive or for negative. And so A little bit really goes a long way. We really don't want to put ourselves in a situation where people are kind of feeling confused by our motives, or think we're being ungrateful, or thinking that they can, get away with maybe overdoing it or muscling us into something with a sweet gift. However, it can be yours if you're willing to iron out the wrinkles involved in whatever's going on here. So, before we move on to the cards, I do want to remind everybody that your monthly astrology horoscopes will be up on Patreon on the 23rd, of this month, so the 23rd of February being Sunday. And if you are interested in learning more about Oversoul groups, Soul Family, Twin Flames, Soulmates, all of that kind of stuff, and what's going on in the bigger picture, you might want to check out my main channel page. I just posted a video all about that, or you can open up the link in the down bar below and go straight there. It's my main channel page, by the way, and you will find it. I think that you'll find it quite illuminating, and it does explain a lot of what is going on, of course, as I said, in the bigger picture. This is not something that is necessarily geared to capitulate to or focus on maybe just this reality experience. So it goes pretty deep, but I like how it turned out. It's not like inaccessible or anything like that. So what's going on when it comes to your cards? Well, for your spiritual themes of this week, we do have the King of Pentacles in reverse. And we are focusing on maybe changing how balances of power work around us. The King of Pentacles reversed always shows up when quite possibly status for its own sake, authority for its own sake, and power for its own sake is on the verge. It's not quite there yet, but it's on the verge of becoming maybe more of a problem down the road. And this could be maybe generous acts of power, or maybe not so generous acts of power going on in all areas of our life. Remember, the King of Pentacles reversed is very preoccupied with status and success and power and influence and intrigue and admiration for its own sake. He's a yuppie. And when we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, there could be some issues going on where that is a priority superseding, I guess, the heart and soul of maybe the work that we're doing, or the relationships that we have, or the friendships that we have. Well, we have to see him coming, right? We have to see that energy coming before it shows up, because we don't want to get sucked into it either. We don't want to take it on, because in a lot of cases, the King of Pentacles reverse can sometimes glorify that way of thinking, that philosophy. And when we think about that Venus square to Pluto, well, maybe sometimes these things are lifting us up, but they're also power plays at the same time. And we want to make sure that everything is pure. We want to make sure that things are done in the best interest of all concerned. Because the King of Pentacles reverse can be sometimes a very shallow energy, something that wants everything to be super simple, very much superficial, but also at the same time something that might be lacking in sincerity. And when you're getting that energy as your spiritual themes, it's important to understand that it's time to navigate these things, find out what is organic, whole, and true, and don't let yourself get seduced by the prospect of things like power and status for its own sake. Because let's be honest, that's really an of-the-world kind of priority at the end of the day. And at least if you're watching my channel, I hope you know I'm here to, help people do more than that. So, moving on to the Influx card, what's coming in? Well, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And this week you are going to be noticing that there is sort of a feeling that a lot of people are not really putting their whole heart into what they call their passion, or what they think is their passion. In a lot of cases, the Queen of Pentacles reversed is kind of an imposter, and I don't want you to go around getting paranoid or suspicious, certainly not. But you're going to notice a big filtration going on this week when it comes to what you consume, as well as what you are participating with, what you're sharing energy with. You may be noticing that certain people that you are maybe letting into certain areas of your life, whether it's your professional life, your social life, your spiritual life, your family life, whatever, are really just kind of acting the part or miming the part. Now, of course, it's not everybody, because the Queen of Pentacles reversed is also teaching us a lesson here. Step back, step out of the situation, and start giving credit where credit is really due. Just because somebody is able to walk the talk, they know how to say all the right buzzwords, and they know how to maybe give you steps 1, 2, and 3, but maybe not the others, doesn't necessarily mean that they're always the right person for that role or for that space. In fact, sometimes the most glorified people are holding up the space for people that clearly deserve it, but because of where they are, they're not going out of their way to be the bombastic King of Pentacles reversed, or the actor that is the Queen of Pentacles reversed sometimes. And so you may be noticing that, wow, I'm giving this friend so much credit and ignoring this other really, really good friend. I really need to think about what is going on. Where am I giving my energy here? Or this team that I'm on at work, this person deserves way more credit than they're getting. The service that I'm getting from, this other person is so much more than this other person that's really, really hyped up. This is a week where a lot of you Cancerian people get a chance to reorganize, call back some of your energy, and redistribute. Because with the Outflux, what's going away, well, we've got the King of Wands upright. And this is all about a shift away from what makes us exactly feel inspired, being, only coming through a certain type of communication, right? The King of Wands upright is a very inspirational card. It's a very strong leader card. It's a very strong instigator, a very strong inciter. But when the King of Wands goes away, in a lot of cases, the honeymoon phase, when it comes to certain adventures, certain endeavors, certain projects, certain areas of our social life, is largely over. And so the wow, the pizzazz, the euphoria, the wonderful shock that can sometimes come from being put in a brand new space and overwhelmed by all this brand new energy is going away, and now it's time to step in and start seeing what's really going on. With the King of Wands upright going away, it's not a negative energy, but what it is it's just a change of sensibility. It's a change of the phase that you are in. So whereas he might have been making things super fun, super exciting, now it's incumbent upon you, Cancerian people, to start seeing people and energies for what and who they really, really are, as opposed to the welcome committee putting their best foot forward. When we get down to your material concerns, when it comes to your material wealth in the mundane area at the bottom row, we've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Beautiful card when it comes to money, because, funny enough, the Five of Pentacles reversed is overwhelmingly positive, as opposed to, say, the Five of Pentacles upright. Well, with the Five of Pentacles reversed, I'm actually seeing you getting recruited in some way this week that is ultimately going to, yes, generate some good liquidity for you. For those of you that are maybe looking for a new job, or maybe those of you who haven't thought about finding a way to get yourself recruited for much of anything, maybe finding that somebody is sort of putting a bounty on their project. They're putting a bounty or a reward up for anyone who could come and help them with a situation that's kind of gotten out of hand, it's gotten away from them, and with the Five of Pentacles reversed, here you are having a chance to maybe claim a prize and save the day. The Five of Pentacles reversed is also giving a very clear indication to me that once you do actually come in and pull whatever this is off, this may actually even be a space where you maybe get a chance to lord over a little bit down the road. As we get into the external, when it comes to friends, when it comes to relatives and other people in your life, we have the Devil card in reverse. And once again, there's a huge shift going on here as we are plucking out or maybe ousting some kind of toxic influence. That's my cat snoring in the background. That was a quiet one. I'm not going to get it. Dang it. But with the Devil card reversed, there is something happening where you see not necessarily a snake in the grass, but it's almost more like something that you've already known was not necessarily a good inclusion to either a group or a connection that you have finally being lifted out. Because I'm actually getting the impression that this Devil card reversed is an influence and an influencer. in your life and in your social group or maybe in your family. This is not just a vice or a habit going away. The Devil card reversed, it's completely clear that this is something that may actually be sort of a person or maybe an idea or something that's been allowed to kind of flourish in one of your social spaces that is actually either creating stagnation or maybe locking something down or preventing growth for all concerned. But the good news is, with the Devil card reversed, lifting out. We've got for your relationships, when it comes to love and romance, the Page of Swords in reverse. And this week, I want you to be super, super careful when it comes to love and romance, because there's some misinformation and mischaracterization going on when it comes to either your partner or maybe somebody new or somebody you're not official with if you're available. The Page of Swords reverse can sometimes show up where a person is acting on misinformation or mischaracterization that they are getting, or they're, in the case of somebody new, it could be that maybe you're getting a lot of misinformation or mischaracterization from somebody that's normally a pretty reliable source about what's going on with that person. You see, the Page of Swords in reverse can sometimes show up where we need to do some really neutral sleuthing. We don't want to go into this with a bias, meaning we don't want to go into this 100% believing our partner or 100% believing anyone else involved until we actually get the facts straight ourselves. That can be a tough space to go down, though, because when it comes to being neutral, some people take neutrality very personally, and they still interpret it as you taking a stand against them or maybe rejecting or abandoning them when you are not. Now, I don't see this being necessarily something that is going to be life-altering. It doesn't have to be. But this could actually be something that we have to find out, maybe in relationship to that Devil card reversed. Maybe this is not necessarily rumors getting stirred up, but problems that are happening that have been going on behind the scenes that you're just getting wind of, and now you have to figure out because everyone has a different story. I don't see necessarily anything that is preventing a new partnership from starting so long as people are able to hold on to some discernment this week, because there's a lot of projection going on, and the Page of Swords reverse can sometimes indicate as well that maybe our partner, we're kind of getting them out of a situation where they're believing a lot of misinformation and mischaracterization as well. So it's like, okay, who drank the Kool-Aid? Who needs to get the diuretic? Or who needs the Ipecac? We need to get that taken care of first before we can go a step forward. So that's your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session, go on ahead to my website down below, in the links below, or just go to integrativemysticism.com.